Hi and welcome to this course. In this video lesson, we are going to be talking about loops. And the first loop which I want to show you is for loop. So let me just write that here. And this is how you create a for loop. So you use the for keyword, and in the first statement, you initialize a variable. So I is equal to 0, and then you put the condition, so I will be less than 10, and then you put the increment or decrement operator, so I plus plus, and the opening and the closing curly braces, and inside of that I will print I, so console.log, and I will print the value of I. Now what I'm doing here is I am creating a for loop, and the first condition is let I is equal to 0. Here I am initializing a new variable, and the value of the variable is 0. In the second parameter, I am checking whether I is less than 10 or not, and we know that the value of I is 0, so yes, I is less than 10. So it goes to the third round where it increments it. So I plus plus is equal to, so I plus plus is equal to the value of I plus 1, and right now the value of 1 is 0, so it increments the value from 0 to 1. So I plus 1 is equal to 1, so 0 plus 1 is equal to 1, right? So if I save this and if I run this program, then you will see that it has printed the numbers from 0 to 9. Let me break it down for you. So at first the value of I was 0, so it printed 0. Then we incremented its value by 1, so the value of I became 1. So I became 1, and yes, 1 is less than 10, so it printed 1. And just like that, when it came at 9, so when the value of I was 9, so 9 is of course less than 10, so it printed the value of I, which was 9, and then it incremented the value of I, so I became 10, and 10 is not less than 10, and that's why the loop broke at that time. Okay, now I want to show you a real world application of this for loop. So we have a object literal here, and I want to print the name of all the persons in this person's object literal. So how can I do that? Well, I can use the for loop for that. So let I is equal to 0, and then the length of I is less than persons dot length. Okay, so the length of the persons is, what is the length of the persons? It is 3, so 1, 2 and 3, and then I will increment it by 1. So I will increment it by 1 like that. So at first the value of I is equal to 0, so it will display the name of the first object literal, and we are going to print the name of the first object literal like this. So persons, so I will place I here. Okay, at first the value of I is equal to 0, and then it became 1, and then it became 2, and when the value became 3, so 3 is not less than 3, so it will crack out of the loop. Now what this console log statement will do is each time when we are looping through this for loop, it will print each and every object, but we don't want that. We want to display just the name. So I will type in dot here, and then I will type name, and if I save this and if I run this here, you will see Subham, Saurabh, Ron and Harry Potter, just like that. Okay, now let me revise everything about for loop for you. In the first parameter, we assign a variable. In the second parameter, we check a condition, and in the third one, we increment or decrement it. Okay, and that's how it works. Now I want to show you another loop, which is while loop. Now let me show you how a while loop works. In the while loop, we assign the variable outside the while loop. So a is equal to 0, and in the while parameter, in the parameter of while, we check the condition, we check whether this is greater than or smaller than something. So a is less than persons dot length. So if the value of a, which is 0, so if 0 is less than persons dot length, and what is the value of persons dot length? The value of person dot length is 3. So if the value of 0, so if a is less than 3, then I want to do everything that is inside these braces. So I want to do what? I want to display the names. So persons a dot name, okay, and the semicolon at the end. And after doing that, I want to increment the a, otherwise it will go into the infinite loop. And if I save this right now, and if I go back to this browser, and if I refresh this, then you will see Subham Saurabh, Ron and Harry Potter just right here. Now I want to show you another loop, which is for of loop. So let me just comment it out first. And the for of loop is usually used to loop through an array, and we have an array here, so we'll loop through these. Okay, so what is the syntax? So for, and in here we'll say person of persons, and the curly braces here, and inside of this we will log the person. So person, not persons. And if I save this, and if I go back to this browser, and if I refresh this, then you will see all of our objects just like that. So how is this for of loop working? Well, in the for of loop, we are going through each and every element of the array, and our array is person, so we are going through each and every person of these persons. And you can put anything here, you can put a here, you can put I here, you can put anything here. Okay, and we are looping through each and every element of this persons, and in the console.log we are printing the person. We can also print the name of the person like this. And if you save this, and if you go back to Chrome, and if you refresh this, and you will see the name of the persons. So I hope that you understood everything I taught you today. If you have any questions or comment, make sure to leave them down below, and I will be happy to help you. Alright, that's gonna be it from me for this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.